In the remote Isdal Valley of Norway, a place locals call Death Valley, a hiker stumbled upon a scene of chilling mystery. On a cold November day in 1970, the charred remains of a woman were discovered, surrounded by a bizarre collection of objects: a packed lunch, an empty liquor bottle, and sleeping pills. But who was she? Her identity was a void. All labels from her clothing had been meticulously cut away, and her fingerprints were sanded off her fingertips. This was not just a death. It was a deliberate, systematic erasure of a life. The discovery marked the beginning of one of the 20th century's most perplexing and enduring enigmas. The case of the Isdal Woman. Was she a spy caught in the crossfire of the Cold War? A criminal on the run? Or something else entirely? The deeper investigators looked, the more the questions piled up, painting a picture of a woman who seemed determined to vanish, even in death. Investigators were faced with a ghost. With no identification on the body, they turned to the few clues left behind. At the Bergen railway station, 2 suitcases belonging to the woman were found. Inside, they discovered a collection of wigs, eyeglasses with non-prescription lenses, maps, train timetables, and several pages of a coded diary. The clothes were just as baffling stylish, but again, with all identifying tags removed. The most significant lead came from a shopkeeper, who remembered selling a pair of rubber boots to a well-dressed, foreign-sounding woman, matching the boots found near the body. This small detail opened up a complex web of movements. Police soon realized their Jane Doe was a seasoned traveler. She had used at least 9 different aliases, names like Fenella Lork, Claudia Tielt, and Vera Jarl, checking into hotels across Norway and Europe. She moved with precision, frequently changing rooms and leaving behind no trace of her true self. Her travel itinerary was a whirlwind tour: Paris, Geneva, Hamburg, Rome. She spoke multiple languages, including French, German, English, and Flemish, further deepening the mystery. It was clear this was no ordinary woman. She was methodical, careful, and operating with a level of sophistication that suggested she was hiding from something or someone. The animated map of her travels looked less like a tourist's journey and more like the calculated route of an operative. The autopsy added even more layers to the puzzle. The official cause of death was a combination of carbon monoxide poisoning from the fire and an overdose of phenobarbital, a powerful sedative. More than 50 sleeping pills were found in her stomach, though not enough to be instantly fatal on their own. Traces of the pills were also found alongside her body. Did she take them willingly, or was she forced? There was also a mysterious bruise on her neck, which could suggest a struggle, but the evidence was inconclusive. The toxicology reports confirmed the presence of the sleeping pills, but ruled out other substances. The fire had burned her front, but her back remained untouched, suggesting she was lying down when it was started. The scene was staged to look like a suicide, yet too many details felt wrong. The placement of the objects around her seemed ritualistic, almost ceremonial. Why burn the body in such a remote, hard-to-reach location? Why go to such extreme lengths to erase every shred of identity? The medical documents, with their redacted sections and clinical language, couldn't answer the most human question. What was she running from that was worse than this fiery end? Given the Cold War context of the 1970s, theories of espionage immediately surfaced. Norway was a strategic location, a NATO member bordering the Soviet Union. Was the Isdal Woman a spy? Her multiple identities, coded messages, and constant travel fit the profile of an intelligence agent. The codes in her diary were eventually partially deciphered. They appeared to be simple date and location notations, mapping out her movements. But was this the full extent of their meaning? Some have speculated she was involved in covert operations, perhaps a courier or a honey trap agent. Could she have been a Mossad agent hunting a former Nazi official? Or maybe a Stasi or KGB operative on a mission that went horribly wrong? One compelling theory connects her to secret missile tests being conducted in Norway at the time. Another links her to a clandestine stay-behind network, a secret army intended to resist a Soviet invasion. Perhaps her cover was blown, and she was eliminated by her own agency, or by a rival one. The shadowy figures of the Cold War, the back-alley exchanges, the constant paranoia, it all provides a perfect, albeit terrifying, backdrop for her story. She could have been on the verge of defecting, or perhaps she was double-crossed during a mission. The truth, like her identity, remains classified by the shadows of history. Decades passed, but the case never truly went cold. With advancements in technology, new hope emerged. In 2017, Norwegian police officially reopened the case. Using stable isotope analysis on the woman's teeth, scientists were able to paint a clearer picture of her origins. The chemical signatures in her enamel suggested she was born around 1930 in or near Nuremberg, Germany, but had moved to the region of France, or the France-Germany border, as a child. This was a monumental breakthrough. For the first time, we had a geographical anchor for this phantom. The next step was facial reconstruction. Using CT scans of her skull, forensic artists and AI programs worked to bring her face back to life. Slowly, from the grainy static of old case files and the cold data of scientific analysis, a face began to form. It was the face of a woman in her late 30s or early 40s, with a steady gaze, high cheekbones, and a slightly melancholic expression. Seeing her face makes the mystery feel more personal, more tragic. This wasn't just a collection of clues and theories. This was a person. A woman who had a childhood, who grew up during a tumultuous time in European history, and whose life ended violently and alone in a frozen valley. The image was shared worldwide, with the hope that someone somewhere might finally recognize her. If stories like the Isdal Woman fascinate you, you're in the right place. Unraveling these real-life mysteries is what we're all about here. By the way, if you're looking to upgrade your own gear for content creation or just everyday use, I've curated a collection of products in my TikTok shop. You'll find great deals on smartphones, accessories, cool background designs, and a lot more. I've personally selected items that I think you'll love. Whether you're a budding creator or just looking for quality tech, there's something there for you. I'll drop the link in the description below, so be sure to check it all out after the video. Your support helps me continue to create content and dive deep into these incredible stories. Now, let's get back to the final haunting questions of the Isdal Woman. Even with the new scientific data and a face to her name, the central questions remain unanswered. Who was she, really? What was her name? Why did she create such an elaborate fortress of false identities? If she was a spy, who did she work for, and what was her mission? And perhaps the most haunting question of all, why did she want to vanish so completely? The meticulous removal of every personal identifier suggests a deep-seated desire to become a ghost, to leave no trace for anyone to follow. Was she protecting a secret, or was she protecting someone she loved? Her journey through Europe was not random. Every stop, every alias was a deliberate step. But was she moving towards something, or running away? The path she walked led her to a desolate forest at night, a path that ultimately disappeared into darkness. Her story is a stark reminder that some secrets are buried so deep they may never see the light of day. She remains a symbol of the ultimate unknown, a woman who walked out of the fog and vanished into the fire, leaving only questions in her wake. This case is a labyrinth with no exit. Every clue leads to another question, every theory to a dead end. Was she a victim of a political conspiracy? A casualty of the secret wars fought in the shadows? Or was her story something more personal, a tragedy of a life lived on the run from a past we can't even imagine? Maybe someday, a final piece of the puzzle will surface, a forgotten record, a deathbed confession, a DNA match. Until then, she is the Isdal Woman. Real horror, real stories, real life events that actually happened. This is EerieDoseYT. The full, in-depth exploration of this case and others like it will be released every Saturday on my YouTube channel, EerieDoseYT. Like this video if you're intrigued by these mysteries, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. And I want to hear from you. Comment your theories below. Who do you think she was, and why did she do it? Thanks for watching.